7. Education. The lack of proper education, financing support, and knowledge being taught by African American professionals. In addition, our leaders and academics failed us as they fled the hood in droves for the suburbs during those crazy 80s. Prior to this period, kids saw on a daily basis married couples that looked like them, even if they didn't live in their households. Yet, the great migration to greener pastures left a void in the community, leaving it to be filled by the image of the hustler, pimp, thug, ruthlessness, and violence. And I'd like to say, like, I remember seeing a show on CNN where it's called, I think it was called Black in America. But they had a little segment of the show where they showed the higher class so-called African Americans. And you could see where those higher class African Americans kind of shut us out, the lower class ones, or the ones that didn't have as much money. And they only, they only congregate with people with money or white people. So they just totally turn their backs on their own people, basically, and search for to live the white American dream. The whole point is they, didn't put anything back into the neighborhoods. They took it away. And even if they did give stuff to the neighborhood, it was all for a tax write-off or to look good or come back to the hood so they can get voted in or something like that. 8. Communication. This speaks to education of self and listening to the wrong messengers. The communication of values, parents became unavailable to hand down family legacies, traditions, and value systems. We're like POWs locked in the same building for 20 years, unable to converse through cement walls confined by our personas, egos, insecurity, isms, and etc. Number 9. The Black Church. Many churches have lost their way. The business of religion is bankrupting our communities. Many churches are not touching the lives of those outside of the church, most in need, just like back in the day when it was the design of slave masters, who did so much wickedness to use this as a tactic by offering a Bible and in most instances nothing more than pain and a promise of a better life to keep us in line. This is not the same as faith, which was necessary to survive our struggles. And we already know how spiritually unfit the churches are right now. I mean, they're all about making money and they're not about fixing the problems of the community. They're not about fixing anything except for bringing in some money and passing the collection plate. And that's sad to say. If you go to a church, they won't even tell you who you are, so they've destroyed the black community. 10. Urbanization. Work and home were once connected. Parents were near their families, and children understood work as a way of life. Urbanization helped create latchkey kids, and images of hard work disappeared while replacing it with material objects. 11. Social services. The advent of the system of welfare that demanded the absence of the influence of the black man in the home. Before Claudine during the early 50s, welfare was a Midwestern farmer hookup, and back then you had to be a complete family to apply. So the laws for welfare changed in the inner city, while many in the farmlands of mid-America started to change in culture to fit the application for welfare. For decades to follow, trillions of dollars in government spending on ineffective social programs in our cities have not by and large benefit the mobility of the family. Straight up, before it was a black thing, or African American thing, the whole family could get the assistance. But I guess as soon as the African American, as soon as they got the assistance, that's when they started breaking it down where you had to live alone and only with your children. That's sad. 12. Segregation. Jim Crow laws and black codes that prevented legal marriages, dehumanized people, and discriminatory practices in work, education, left many African Americans unable to access resources necessary to build strong family bases, causing disillusionment, husbands, fathers, to abandonment rather than face daily reminders of their failure. So, I mean, I just named like 12 things that have affect these black women and their behaviors. So, I mean, if you can name more than 12 things that another woman from another nation has to go through like that, please let me know. Because I think I named 12 here. And I'm going to say I think that there's way more even to go to it. That's not even the depths of what's wrong with their attitudes. So either we can keep whining about the attitudes, or we can go to the source of the problem of why it's happening.